Hey there, folks. So, last episode we went through and got our building interior set up, as well as our, what do I want to call them? Well, I'll just keep calling them building openings. It's things like doors and windows. Between episodes, I did spend a bit of time just going through, starting to get some actual real assets set up. First of all, you can see I've expanded the third person map a bit. So I've started adding in a few buildings, and these are just things I'm going to be slowly working on as I go. I also added in what's going to be the first heat source, which is a barrel fire. But yeah, these are just some buildings I've pulled in. You can see I've started. There's a door on this one, door on the back of this one. I still need to get a back stairs on there. This shop has some doors added. It's now technically fully enclosed. This one, obviously, there's tons of windows and everything. But anyways, instead of just giving a tour on this, that's not what I wanted the episode to be. While working on those, there was a couple of things I noticed. There was one bug I need to fix. And there was also some updates I wanted to make to the player character's saving logic. The main one being is, let's just launch play and editor here, and I should still have a valid save game. So if you notice right now, I'm looking effectively at the trees, so straight up. And now I'm doing the same thing. I'm looking straight up, but I'm next to the building. Well, when I saved this, I was actually facing the building. And part of that is due to we're not saving controller rotation. So that's something I want to fix. So I'm just hop out there. But as I mentioned, there's two things I want to do. The other one was a bug, and that is regarding the heat source. I actually, in my enthusiasm to get that one done, I wrote the code a little wrong, so let's just load over there. And if I'm correct, this is going to break. So we're going to hit light. Yeah, and it throws an exception. So the reason for that is I honestly completely forgot about a particular process with the calls in Unreal. Function calls, I should say. Let's heat source header, get that open. So in here we have these two functions: blueprint native event, on interaction BP, and on interaction BP implementation. And I completely forgot that the way this is set up is if there is not a blueprint version of this, it calls the C++ version. And what's happening there and what caused that crash is that particular heat source doesn't have a blueprint version of this function defined, but in our C++ version, we're saying call the blueprint version. So this is actually a really simple fix. We just don't call the blueprint version. And that one there will fix that issue. The other one, though, and that was the bug that I wanted to fix. But as I said, the other thing I want to do is fix the player character save controller rotation. So I'm going to quickly close out all of these here. We don't need these open. And we're going to open up our player character stuff here. No, not rename, open. So we have, if we scroll down here, and these are actually two I'm probably going to have to fix in here as well. Excuse me, we don't have any particular function or logic for our controller rotation. But actually, let's take a look at those two. Toggle player inventory. Yeah, well, there's blueprint native, or were they blueprint? Yeah, they were blueprint native. So we are going to have to figure out how this one is going to impact things, but we'll see. Actually, that's in bindings. I actually bound that too, didn't I? Toggle inventory. Yeah, okay. We're calling specifically the blueprint version. So this one we want. The update interaction text we don't. So that might have also been the reason why we were seeing those weird bugs with the updating the display text with things like the pickup actors. But so with that, we do need to look at our controller rotation logic. So just give me 1 second here. Okay, so now we have no save behavior in our player character logic. All of that is being derived from our character base. But one thing we want to look at here just before we get too carried away, because I want to refresh myself on that, in our game instance, we have gather player data. So in here, we're just calling that, and we're just saying get the save data implementation. We are not doing anything else there. Well, this is where I want to do something to see if we can use the serialization, or do we need to use that custom raw data file. So what we need to do here is in our actor save data implementation, this is the one we need here. We're going to add this to our player character. Going to create the definition for that. And all we are going to do here is actually TF character get save data implementation. So what we're doing here is we're returning it. Why are you doing that? Do I not have it? Okay, yeah, it's not in there, which is what I would expect, but it should be right there. So I'm just going to copy this in case I have an inability to spell, which I think is more likely the case here. Yeah, I can't spell. That's my problem. But before this, what we want to do is actually up here, I'm going to just make it a U property so we can assign it as a save game. Save game, and then F rotator, controller rotation. So what we're going to be doing here is just go controller rotation equals, I'm just going to get controller rotation. So what this should do, if this behavior does what I'm expecting, is when we call the get save data implementation, it's going to assign our controller rotation and then return what it's been using by default, just the character save logic. But if we go back to our game instance, we call this first and then we start our serialization. So this should return, or should save that character rotation. Now, there's the other thing we need to do, which is update from get save data implementation. Yeah, we don't have the update from save. What was it called? Interface, save actor interface. So now, update from save implementation. That's this one here. So we're going to need to add that to our player character. Right now, our actual character doesn't have that. Just double check, update. Yep, it's not there. So we're going to add this to our player character. I'm going to put that down under these. And that's an override. Override. Get rid of the virtual. Oh, stop doing that, IntelliSense. Controller rotation equals... Oh, no, I think I'm just using the completely wrong function names here. But, yeah. So, yeah, no. I've completely messed these up. I'm using the entirely wrong things. I'm saying it's itself. Get player controller. No. Get controller rotation. We want set controller rotation. Controller rotation. And then we want to do get controller rotation. Okay. Can we just call that directly set controller? No, we can't. Control rotation. Okay. So this should, like I said, if my math is, well, my programming, which obviously it wasn't, I had this completely backwards, should set it up that once we save the game, our rotation is saved so that if we're looking at a door, when we reload, we are still looking at the door. Now, this is going to take a little bit to build, so I'm going to pause things here, and I will be back as soon as this build is done, and we are back in the engine. Alright, we're back in the editor now, folks. So, first of all, actually I want to open up this blueprint here and just show you what the bug we fixed. So, open up the full blueprint editor. And while that loads... It's being slow. As you can see, we don't have that on interaction BP. And that was what the bug was. Because that was missing, it was crashing because it was basically going into technically an infinite loop. So now that we've fixed that, though, what we're going to do, play. And when this actually loads... So I'm going to, come on, run over to that barrel, and I'm going to stand and face it while I'm up against the wall. So that way we have a clear indication that we've rotated our character. Oh, I should have played from here instead of just play. But anyways, so we're going to stand up here. We're going to face it just to start with. Okay, so that update interaction text was... I need to make some code changes there. Just 1 second. Update interaction call. I think we're calling to the implementation, which isn't doing anything. But anyway, so with that, I'm going to hit 7 to save. I'm going to move this way a little bit, hit 9. Okay, so that didn't do what we wanted it to do. So let's take a quick check. Nope, I didn't want to delete. I wanted to throw a breakpoint there. And I think the issue there is we're not actually calling that. Yeah, we're not. Okay. So we're going to fix both of those issues now. Close out of the editor. We're going to go into our game instance. And load, where is our player data? Set player data function, go to definition. We're not calling the update from save. Yeah. So what we want to do here is player character update, sorry, no, that's the interface we need to do on that. So enter. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Enter for our interface. Update from save. Update from save. Implementation. No, it's execute. Execute. Update from save. And that is player character. That's what we're doing here, right? Enter. We're actually not even using the interface, are we? Yeah, we're not. All right, that's that one there though. So now let's go to fix that text issue. And that should be here in our trace for interaction. Yeah, we're calling the raw function. Actually, I'm just going to return that to how it was. Actually, no, that one's not doing anything. So yeah, we can just call straight through to the base function. Now, this is an example of someone who, I'm not going to say I'm experienced with Unreal Engine, but I am familiar with it enough. You're still going to make really simple mistakes. I know I mention things like this pretty much every episode, but it is one of the things I've seen so many people beat themselves up about, is they make silly mistakes like I did with this whole use of the, go down here, actually no, it was the heat source actor, with the way this was done. And that's because you're not going to remember everything. I have to remember a lot of work for C++ for my day job, and everything for Unreal is something that I have to tack on top. And with that, like I said, you're not going to remember everything. You are going to potentially make mistakes like I've done here. So now let's see if those couple of small changes fix the problems we had. So drag this over. Oh, why does this always take so long? All right, so we're going to hit play here. And we haven't changed any save code, so we should be able to just load our last attempt. So I'm going to hit 9 to load. Okay, now we are... There you go. You can see, oh, and that fixed our interaction text. So it's light, douse. And yes, I know in this case that flame is extending outside of the barrel. I don't have a Niagara effect yet for that. Let's see if that fixed our issue with our logs, like when we would pick them up. No, that is still there. Okay. Yeah, so... Okay, that's now none, but that text is still there. So I want to fix that. So let's take a look to see Open up our third person character blueprint. Begin play. Save and load. Update interaction text. I think that's where we're calling it. So let's take a look here. Yeah, we're doing it before we're changing anything. So, and the whole reason for that is I was trying to find a way to simplify the code. And in this case, an oversimplification actually probably made it worse. So, compile and save that just because I made that route clear. So, and this is something else. Don't be afraid if you try to do some refactoring to simplify or improve the code. Like originally, this is what I had written in the code. There was an update interaction text in both cases. And I thought, okay, how can I simplify that so I only call it once? Well, it just didn't work. So there's a couple of different ways you could do it to adjust that. There's this method here, just call that in both code paths. The other option is we do this. And both are valid. And it is entirely up to you on how you want to go about doing it. So, oh, come on, IntelliSense. Thank you. So, let's see if that fixes the issue. But yeah, so going back to my little talk before, and comparatively with this, you can, even as a, you guys can't see me doing it, obviously a professional developer, in air quotes there, you're gonna always make mistakes. Sometimes they're little mistakes because you're rushing through something and you forgot something really obvious. Sometimes you just forgot a particular methodology to how code work is done, or code flow is. In my case, how these function, a blueprint native function works. And that's just because I'm not overly familiar with those to a huge extent. Now I've made that mistake. I'm going to remember it and probably clean up some code there. Or in a case like this, you're like, okay, well, I'm going to do this, and updating interaction text before everything should be good. But the issue here is we're updating it, invalidating the actor, and then nothing else. So, but let's give this another try. So we're going to hit play here. You can actually play. There we go. Oh, I still need to get rid of that asterisk in the temperature. All right, 9 to load. Okay, so now we can see we are fixing our rotation. We're looking at the barrel. Oh, excuse me. Let's go over. Pick up that. Pick up that. Okay, that is still happening. So I'm going to do here, we're going to play one more time. I'm going to open up my third person blueprint actually. Let's get ready to throw a breakpoint here. So we're going to hit 9, run over. Pick our first one up, shift F1 to break out. I'm going to throw the breakpoint on there. Just so you can see it's there. And apparently I hit that. Oh, we hit that every time. That's the issue. Because that traces per second. Okay, so I'm going to set a breakpoint on this one to see. Nope, same issue. Because it's not valid. So, okay, so that's not working. Okay. I just stopped that there. That didn't fix the issue. So what we're going to do, that didn't correct our issue. I'm going to just return the code to what it was, because That wasn't the problem. Oh, missed the T. Where is our interact? On interact. That might be part of the problem there as well. Yep, let's try this one more time. But yeah, so back to what I was saying about mistakes. You're going to make them. Don't beat yourself up over it. Learn from them and keep going. Like you'll find all through this, what am I on, episode 53, 54, something like that now. I make a lot of mistakes. And I'm forward about them. I honestly say I screwed up. That's a personal preference of mine. I will openly admit to my mistakes whenever I make them. But what is important is learning from them and trying not to continue to make the same mistake. So, anyways, philosophy and philanthropy and all that stuff out of the window. Let's go and see if this fixed our issue. So 9 to load. Actually, face these trees. I want to check something there. Okay, I was just moving the mouse as I hit F9. Oh, I hit 9. Okay, let's try this one more time. So pick up log. Pick up log. Okay, there we go. That's now fixed that. Let's check with this tree. Might need to increase that delay on the stop physics because they hadn't quite finished spawning there. Because watch this one. Yeah, you can see that is very abrupt. Can't pick those up because I have no inventory space. So let's open our inventory. Drop, 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 drop. Close our inventory. Yeah, that's the issue with the physics there. Pick up, pick up. And yes, I noticed there is some issues with the size comparison between the logs that we've dropped and the logs that were spawned by the tree. But these are also the it's from the dev tree because that's why we just have to run up to harvest it. But yeah, so pick up. Yeah, let's go and pick up. Yeah, okay, that works there. Let's drop, drop. I'm actually going to move that spawn point a little further forward as well. Okay, so that is working there. Hit 9 to load in quickly, and I'm just going to show the house actually, or the store. So in here you can see I've got a couple of doors. As child items, it's actually these 3. They're showing up because they're blueprints. Within blueprints, in your outliner, it's going to show all of them as child actors. So with that though, we're going to go scroll down. You can see exterior openings. We have door 2, door 1, store 1, door left, store 1, door right. Actors inside 0. Current seal state is 1 because everything's closed. So run over and take a quick attempt at these. Open that door. Seal state is now 2/3, 1/3. Go in and close these doors. Come on, let me. Seal state is 1. And then there's a back door that opens, gets rid of that seal state. So in here is, now this is basically, it's a sealed room. It's offering its full insulation value. And that would be 2/3, 1/3, and then it's not offering any insulation because the wind can pass through and so on and so forth. Obviously, I haven't gone to that extent of calculating the air tightness of the room sort of thing. Building here, don't have much. We only have the 1 door set up. I still got to try and get windows that work for this, but we have a door there. This is, let's pull this one up. I think this is townhouse 1. Yeah, townhouse 1. 1 door, obviously it's got 100% seal rating for the 1 door. We've got the 1 actor inside, which is the player character. And then we're going to go over to this one. This house I have to have put down backwards. Again, it's only got one door, but that's because the back is lower than the front. But go through. I got to figure out what's with some of these textures, obviously, because there's some oddities in here. I'm not sure if that is something I've done, the material that's being used, or what. I'm not a fan of that. I don't remember seeing that before. There's, yeah, odd texture. Like there's an additional tile texture being applied there. But anyways, like you've got a 3-story building where the whole building is considered inside. Can I jump out? Yes, I can. Obviously, I'm no longer in the building. And then, yeah, same thing as before. We've got 0 seal in the building. And, oh. Did I screw something up with this one? Might be the static mesh isn't set to use complex. Oh, out of stamina, so my stamina exhaustion. There we go. Run to the back door and see, can I get through here? And is that my issue, the door? Yeah, it's the door frame. So let's take a look at that one. So this is something I'll quickly show as well in this video. Sometimes you're going to run into issues where, like this, you can't get through a door frame. That one there. So I'm going to open up the static mesh itself. Show simple collision. Shows it as a box. Complex collision. Turn off simple. You can see it covers that. Now over here in your details panel, where is it? Collision complexity. Project default. By default, it's simple. For this, we want to use complex collision as simple collision. You can add a custom static mesh to it if you want for your collision. For certain objects that, because really what the custom is it just treats every plane as a collision object. If you got a really complex mesh that you don't need that level of complex collision, obviously add a custom collision mesh to it. But now we've done that, let's hop over here. We'll do it from this one, it's easier to get through. Play from here. Going to run over, open this door, and can I get through now? There we go. So yeah, that was the issue there, is it was using simple collision instead of complex. And like right here, you can see we're hopping up the stairs, which as you walk, that's fine. But if you're running up, it gets a little bouncy. I want to keep that though. Oh, this one's got built-in windows. I didn't realize that. I might have to edit this mesh. I did not realize it had built-in windows. Yeah, it's got built-in windows on the front, but not the back. And I do not want that. All right. Well, anyways, folks, I am going to end this episode here. This was just a little cleanup episode before I moved through into the next big component I wanted to work on, which is going to be extending our stat line to account for a bunch of different things, and also have the option for what I'm going to call complex needs. I'll go into details of that once we get into next episode. But anyways, as always, folks, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, suggestions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.